In this video, you're going to learn how to find the z-scores or the x values given a probability. I'm going to do this example, and I get lots of emails from students asking me for assistance with this particular exercise. The number of chocolate chips in a bag of chocolate chip cookies is approximately normally distributed with a mean of 1,250 chips. So the mean is 1,250 and the standard deviation is 125 chips. Determine the 27th percentile for the number of chocolate chips in a bag. So let me tell you what he means by 27th percentile. 27th percentile means 27%. So you just go to the normal curve and you shade at 27% for the left. And you mean the x, and he wants the x value for which 27% of the data values are to the left of this x values. And we need to find out how to find this x values. There are two ways to find the x values. One way using the calculator, and another way using the table, the standard normal table. I'm going to show you first how to do this one using the calculator. Because the area is 27%, you know the x value is going to be less than the mean, because the mean is right at 50%. So anything less than 50% will be less than the mean. So for sure, I know the answer for x is going to be less than 1,250. How do you do that using the calculator? In order to use the calculator, you need to know the mean, the standard deviation, and the area to the left of your targeted value. And since it is a percentile, by definition, the percentile is an area to the left. So we already have the area to the left. And then you go to second, variables. Let me raise the calculator a little bit. And then you go to inverse norm. Press enter. And then area, you need to enter the area to the left, which is 0.27. I'm going to enter that. And then for the mean, which is 1250. And the standard deviation, which is what? 125. If you leave the mean at 0 and standard deviation at 1, you will get the z-score, but we want the x value, so we're just going to get it at once. And then press enter, paste, and then enter, and it is 1,173.4. So that would be the answer. So it's just to show you here how you do this. All right. And that would be equal 1,173. All right, so that's the first part. For the second part, part B, determine the number of chocolate chip in a bag that make up the middle 86%. Here's how you do the 86%. This is the middle 86% right here, as you can see on the graph. So what's left for the remaining tails? 14%, because 100% minus 86% will give you 14%. Split up the 14% into both tails, so that will be a 7% right here and a 7% right there. So those values here, the x1 and the x2, are the ones that we need to find. In order to find x1, you do inverse norm. You enter the area to the left of x1, which is what? 7%, and then you enter the mean and the standard deviation. Now for x2, guys, you need to enter the area to the left of x2. Since the area to the right of x2 is 7%, then the area to the left will be what? 93%. How did I come up with this? 100% minus 7%. So let me bring the calculator up one more time. And second variable, inverse norm, enter. And now I'm going to do 0.07. And then same thing here, paste, enter. And here you go, 1065.53. That's the x1. For x2, guys, if press second variables, inverse norm, and not a 0.07 this time, it's a 0.93. Why 0.93? 100% minus 7% is 93. And you're going to get an answer which is above the mean, definitely, because that's more than 50%. And it's 1,434. So if I move the calculator on the side, so 1,065, let's say 1,066 if we round it, and 1,434. There you go. So 1,066 and 1,434. Let me just highlight it so you can see it. And that answers the second question. Okay, the next question. What is the interquartile range of the number of chocolate chips in a bag of chocolate chip cookies? You know the interquartile range IQR is Q3 minus Q1. So I need to find a Q3 and Q1. What is Q3? Q3 is the 75th percentile. So in order to find a Q3, you do exactly the same work as you did in part A, but instead of 27%, you put 75%. And what is a Q1 is the 25th percentile. So you do the same work as you did in part A, but instead of 27%, you will put 25%. And let me show you what I did here. And just to show you on the calculator how to do this, I'm going to bring the calculator back up and then go to second, variables, inverse norm, 0.75. Let's do that first. And you don't change the mean or the standard deviation. They remain the same. So 1,334. And let me write it down. $1,334. And let's see now for Q1, guys. You need to do 25th percentile. Let me just raise this a little bit. Second variable, inverse norm. Again, the inverse norm, you can use this feature to find the x value given the probability. 0.25. And then paste, enter 1166, let's say. And then your IQR, guys, will be, oh, it's not showing the IQR. Just make it visible. This is the IQR. It will be 1334 minus 1166. Okay, and that would be 168. Now, how do you answer the questions using now your table? So he wants the 27th percentile and he wants the x value. You can use table 5 without using technology, and here's how you do it. Since it is a 27th percentile, you can first find the z-score. The z-score is going to be negative because it's below 50%. Anything below 50% is a negative z-score. Anything above 50% positive z-score. So you have to look at the table 5 here. You go inside the table and try to find the area, which is 0.27, or the probability. So let's keep scrolling until you see a 0.27 or very close to 0.27. And actually, guys, I can see right here, if you can see this. Okay, here's closest to 0.27 right there, guys, where you see it says 2709. That's actually the closest. Okay, let's try to read the z-score that corresponds to this value. You can see it is a negative 0. The z-score will be one number before the decimal point and two numbers after the decimal point. So I have a negative 0.6, and then I need the second digit, the 100th digit. Here's how you find it. You go to 2709 and go up the second column all the way up. So let me show you here all the way. It is 1. So it's going to be negative 0.61. Okay. So through the table, guys, we're able to find Z, which is negative 0.61. But he doesn't want Z, he wants X, the number of cookies. X has a formula, which is Z times sigma plus the mean. Z is negative 0.61, multiplied by 125, which is the standard deviation, and add 1250, and you should get 1173. Let's try this, guys. Let me clear. So negative 0.61 times, it's going to be very close to the answer that you got, 125 plus 1250. And let's hit enter. And here you go, guys. You can see 1170. Slightly different because we rounded the z-score. But the answer that we got is correct. Both answers are correct. Now, for B, we know that we need the 7% and we need the 93%. So if you want to use table 5 to find B, here's how you do it. First of all, guys, you need to go inside the table and find the 0.07. And the 0.07 is going to be, I think this is the closest right here, guys. Right here, 0.0694. What's the z-score that corresponds to it? It's negative 1.4. And then you need to scroll up and figure out the second digit in the z-score. So it's negative 1.48. So I will write down z equals negative 1.48, and then do a same work for the x1. It will be negative 1.48 times 125 plus 1250. Now what about x2? I have to look for the area, which is 0.93. Okay, and let me show you how to look up this area, which is 0.93. Okay, you need to scroll down. 0.93. The closest to 93, guys. It's going to be this. 1.48. So the other one was negative 1.48. This one will be 1.48. And so you have to do some manual work if you use the table. In order to find this x value, x2, guys, you take 1.48 multiplied by 125 and then add 1250. In order to find x1, you take negative 1.48 multiplied by 125 and then add 1250. And you should get the same answers, 1066, 1433. For part C, guys, same thing. You have to go inside the table and find the z-score that corresponds to 0.75 and then find the z-score that corresponds to 0.25 and then use the formula x equals z times sigma plus the mean to find the x values. And actually, when you find the first z-score for 0.25, the z-score for 0.75 is going to be the same but with the opposite sign because they are symmetric. So this is how you find the x values given the probability, either by using table 5 or by using your TI 84. We're going to go to question 2 now.